DEI might be over at Microsoft. We have a new report claiming that a manager has axed an entire DEI team at the company, claiming that DEI programs everywhere are no longer business critical or smart as they were in 2020. Before we get to this, I'd like to ask you, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos here at the Trent Report. Also, hit that like button. Let's beat the YouTube algorithm and get more people to watch this video. I wrote this up over at thatparkplace.com, and this new report comes from Business Insider's Ashley Stewart. She writes, after Microsoft laid off an internal team focused on diversity, equity, and inclusion, a team leader blasted the company for a lack of investment in these efforts. The email from the manager stated in part, true systems change work associated with DEI programs everywhere are no longer business critical or smart as they were in 2020. The report also noted that the quote team was eliminated because of changing business needs as of July 1. So, there you have it. That is the report. Microsoft laying off an entire DEI team. And an email from a manager says true systems change work associated with DEI programs everywhere are no longer business critical or smart as they were in 2020. I'm not sure why Stewart claims that they're blasting the company for a lack of investment in these efforts. It sounds like that they're blasting the company for investing in them in the first place because they were not actually performing very well or not actually valuable and not business critical. Maybe I'm misinterpreting that, but that's how I'm taking it, and that's how they reported it. So it's kind of weird that she says here that after Microsoft laid off an internal team focused on diversity, equity, and inclusion, a team leader blasted the company for a lack of investment in these efforts, when it sounds like the team leader here, or the manager, is pointing out that they aren't actually business critical or smart. That sounds like the opposite. Like they're blasting the DEI programs in general. But maybe it's being taken out of context and we don't have full context, and that is on Ashley Stewart for not providing it. But she did note that despite the team being scrapped, Microsoft spokesman Jeff Jones did commit the company to diversity and inclusion moving forward. He said, our D&I commitments remain unchanged. Our focus on diversity and inclusion is unwavering, and we are holding firm on our expectations, prioritizing accountability, and continuing to focus on this work. So if they did indeed gut an entire diversity, equity, and inclusion team, it makes one question their commitment to it. However, obviously, those are the words that he's saying, and they have indeed committed to this over the past 6 months, 7 months now, I guess. We're here in the middle of July now. We saw this when they rolled out their Gaming for Everyone product inclusion framework earlier this year with their head of Gaming for Everyone and Sustainability, Xbox's head of Gaming for Everyone and Sustainability, Katie Jo Wright, explaining that the purpose of the framework, what is this? If you don't intentionally include, you will unintentionally exclude. That is how we are as human beings. There is no shame in that. If you want to include, you have to be intentional about that. So that is what she's saying, obviously pushing into that woke ideology, explaining that is the entire purpose of this. If you get into the nitty gritty of it, it has this 10 product inclusion actions as part of the framework. And one of those actions is titled Help Customers Feel Seen. Underneath this action, Microsoft lists a number of questions game developers should consider when developing their games. And then this is what one set of them says. Are you reinforcing any negative gender stereotypes? Are you unnecessarily introducing gender and gender barriers into your code or design? Are you creating playable female characters that are equal in skill and ability to their male peers? Are your female characters equipped with clothing and armor that fits their tasks? Do they have exaggerated body proportions? When the story allows, do you show male characters who display a full range of emotions, including joy, sadness, and vulnerability? So obviously kind of pushing all kinds of woke ideological things through this framework here. And it also includes a checklist so developers can achieve their goals. The third step specifically says this: create and surface content that depicts diverse characters, stories, and creators. Create playable characters that reflect the broader population. Review how identity is represented on screen. match up to the broader population. Make sure that characters are not tokenized or stereotyped based on their identities. Review how identities represented in your product, such as gender, race, sexuality, nationality, cultural ability, age, and size compare to the broader global player population. Be intentional about which identities are present and highlighted according to what's right for your product and market. Make sure that characters are not tokenized or stereotyped based on their identities. No person or character can be a monolith to represent all people with that identity. Practice inclusive casting for any talent required to bring representation to life in your product. Validate your execution for your inclusive listening systems, consultants, advisory councils, user research, etc. So they're fully on board with this kind of DEI agenda. They just rolled this out this year. They've been working on it internally since 2019, and now they are sharing it to the wider public, and they're trying to get other developers to buy into it. It was just an internal Xbox thing. Now they're trying to get other developers to get into it. So they're trying to spread their woke ideology through this framework. We also note that the company employs proud racists such as Kelly Lombardi. If you recall, she posted this on X back in March. Raise your hand if you're not a white man and you buy video games. No hate to white dudes. It's just another day in the gaming industry that minorities have to fight to prove they exist. So just absolutely sick and disgusting behavior from their employees. They also are promoting degenerate lifestyles and evil ideologies. We see this through the official Halo X account, promoting homosexuality, transgenderism, etc. In the month of June, they posted this June 1st. Embrace love, diversity, and inclusion by equipping the Unity 24 armor coding nameplate and emblem in Halo Infinite this June. Let's stand together in honoring our LGBTQIA plus community and forging a future of unity and acceptance for all. The LGBTQI plus community does not actually believe in unity or acceptance. It is a disordered lifestyle, and they're trying to lead people to their own destructions, whether that is physically, spiritually, or emotionally. That is what they do. And we've seen that the woke ideology has been present in Microsoft since at least 2002. Obviously, it wasn't called woke at that point. We were calling it PC. But Halo composer Marty O'Donnell revealed this in an interview that he gave to my good friend here, Andrew Chapados, on his YouTube channel. And Marty said this: I started seeing it a little bit even during our Halo 2, which goes back quite a ways. We were making Halo 2 in 2002, 2003, which was close enough after 9/11. If you know the story of Halo, it's about this group of religious zealots that essentially will commit suicide to keep their religion going. That's the characters we had for the Covenant. That started making Microsoft a little bit nervous because they felt like there could be some backlash from the Muslim community in the Middle East, that maybe this could be seen as Islamophobic. All of a sudden, we were being asked to be very careful about some names of people or references or phrases and things like that. So Marty O'Donnell explaining that they were embracing PC culture, which has now led into woke ideology, what we call woke ideology, all the way back in 2002 and 2003. So despite them scrapping this DEI department, which is a huge win, I think there's a lot of work to do here as well. They need to be completely disavowing DEI. They need to be gutting their entire departments. They literally need to follow the Tractor Supply model. They need to stop funding pride parades. They need to stop funding all of this degenerate, woke, evil stuff here. And they need to get back to merit-based hiring practices. They need to get rid of their DEI hiring practices. All of that stuff needs to go. Like I said, the Tractor Supply model is the model that Microsoft needs to be following. But it is good news that this DEI team was indeed scrapped. They cannot inflict any more harm on the company and the products and everything that the company is creating for the public. But they have a lot of work to do to really kind of turn their company around, and I think make it where people will actually want to buy their products and use their products moving forward, play their games, etc. All the things that Microsoft should be doing rather than pushing DEI and woke ideology in everything that they do. And here is the Tractor Supply model. They posted this on June 27th, earlier this year. And it says, we work hard to live up to our mission and values every day and represent the values of the communities and customers we serve. We have heard from customers that we have disappointed them. We have taken this feedback to heart. Going forward, we will ensure our activities and giving tied directly to our business. For instance, this means we will, one, no longer submit data to the Human Rights Campaign. Why were they doing that in the first place? Two, refocus our team member engagement groups on mentoring, networking, and supporting the business. Almost all of these major corporations have these team member engagement groups, and they're usually always segmented by either ethnic or racial identity or sexual identity. So that is actually a huge step in getting rid of these groups that are causing division within their own companies. And obviously, that is bleeding into people's personal lives, is bleeding into society and culture at large. Three, further focus on rural America priorities, including agricultural education, animal welfare, veteran causes, and being a good neighbor. And stop sponsoring non business activities like pride festivals and voting campaigns. That is an absolutely huge win. Obviously, for Microsoft, they can be focusing on game development, product development, obviously computer science, etc., and focusing on those things rather than like Tractor Supply is saying here, non-business activities like pride festivals, voting campaigns, and all the other kinds of things that they're probably engaging in. They probably should be focusing on things that are actually focused on their companies and end, which is selling software products to customers, at least for the most part. That's what they should be focusing on. Eliminate DEI roles and retire our current DEI goals while still ensuring a respectful environment. Amen. That's exactly what we want to see happening at Microsoft as well. Withdraw our carbon emission goals and focus on our land and water conservation efforts as well. I think that is something that Microsoft can probably look into as well. Obviously, a little bit different company than Tractor Supply, but I'm sure that they can indeed look at a lot of that stuff too and make their decisions that are based on their company. But I think this is the model that more and more companies should follow. This is the one that Microsoft should follow. They have set the path here. They have just gotten rid of all of this woke agenda that was infesting their company. And I think people are going to reward them for this. And Microsoft should indeed follow their lead here. But those are my thoughts on this. Let me know what you guys make of this. Let me know in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable, but to always speak the truth.